Here we are, mic check. All right, thank you, Deanne, Gabe, for the feedback. MC in the house. Galra, thank you, Meat Puppet. Good evening, hope everyone's doing well. Thank you, Susan. Much love, Susie Q and Joe. Shout outs to all the mods. A thank you to D. White. Shout outs to Hoodie Ross, Tacos, Tooch, Beard Vet. Everybody that shares the stream, gets it out there, it's appreciated to the fullest. Hope everyone's doing good. Sending prayers to anyone that needs them. Right out the gate here tonight. Much love to E. Fitz. Thank you for that, and you're definitely in my prayers as well. And I hope everybody's doing all right out there. Besides crazy storm lines cutting across the country, hopefully everybody's doing okay. I didn't see any warnings, any tornado warnings or anything before I went live. Doesn't mean that there's not some going on out there, but we're getting into a more active weather season, and you may see me going live just to cover those events like I have in the past. You know, we may have, like we've covered in the past, a tornado emergency, so to speak, and stuff like that popping off. And I've got new stuff downloaded that would help track all that stuff with alerts. And walking into this hurricane season as well, I figured, the way I see it, this weather is a weapon. And it's going to continue down this path, so we might as well try to stay on top of it the best that we can. Oh, Colorado Springs has been getting warnings all day. Storm just started. Heavy hail possible. Well, see, that's what I'm talking about. It's like every day I'm sitting here and I'm watching on the weather maps this stuff popping up. And, yeah, well, we got lots going on here. Let's get this show started. If you got anything you need to get to me, send it to dabu7@yahoo.com. Or you can tag me on Twitter, on X, and if you've got something to say to me in the chat, please @ me, Surviving End Times, there on YouTube, or at Dabu7 like D White did, over there on D Live. So yeah, hope everyone's doing good on this Friday. Check a couple things here real quick. Everything looks good there. I'm going to start off here with an alert. I like to put these things out there to keep people safe, first and foremost. 6 million cars out there apparently still have exploding airbags in them. Now, like a decade ago, we reported on this. When these Takata airbags got recalled because of the safety risks. They were exploding. They were releasing shrapnel, pieces of metal, which injured, maimed all kinds of people. And they're now saying that out of all those cars that are left, if you've got a car out there that potentially has one of these Takata airbags in it, it affected, you're going to have to dig in if you suspect this. They're not exact here, but they say that it included Ford, Nissan, Toyota, 19 models, but they don't name the exact ones. Bill Craig, thank you for the coffees. Thank you to the fullest there. Thank you for the support. People have died. They're saying more people are expected to probably die because, well, it says scroll down here for a full list of the make and the models. Let's see if they've got stuff listed or if it's just a PDF. states with the most unfixed Takata airbag recalls. So this is telling us the states here. To California, Texas, Florida, Tennessee, say Ohio, New York State, Maine, Washington State look to be some of the areas where these are being driven the most. But let me look here. Hold on a second here. They put recalls on this years ago, but a lot of people have picked up cars, bought and sold, all this. Takata is bankrupt. They had 100 million of its products go into vehicles that were made by over a dozen automakers. And it's all been recalled, if you don't know. Earlier this year, Toyota issued an urgent do not drive advisory on vehicles. Honda put out information saying that there's been 17 U.S. deaths and more than 200 injuries related to these. So, all right, I'm going to slowly scroll down here. If you suspect that your car is on this list, you can pause it, catch back up. But you can see right here, starting with the Honda Acura, the Audi, Volkswagen, BMWs. So these are some higher end vehicles. The Cadillacs, Chryslers, the Daimler trucks, Dodge Ram, Ferrari, Fisker, Ford, GMC, Honda, Nissan, Infiniti, Jaguar, Lexus, Lincoln, I mean, good gosh, Mazda, McLaren, Mercedes-Benz, Mercury, Mitsubishi, Nissan, Pontiac, Saab, Saturn, Subaru, Volkswagen, Toyota, and Tesla. Oh, man. So, dude, that's a lot. That's just crazy. Yeah. So, it's more, they're saying that there's higher odds of this happening to you in a vehicle that has a hotter climate. They say the states in this new alert also include what they dub as Zone Z. This is the area that poses the highest threat. This includes Alabama, California, Florida, Georgia, Hawaii, Louisiana, Mississippi, South Carolina, and Texas. They say the hot, humid air and the climate could cause these things to explode. So, man, it's always something. Just putting it out there, more people getting injured, more alerts being put out. There you have it. We've got a lot to get to tonight. Of course, we're going to dive into the Trump stuff, everything going on there, where this is going to go with the political outcome from here. What's right in front of us, really, with this summer packed full of stuff. But I wanted to start off here with a little bit of a comical bit here. Some people out there are just downright stupid, and this guy, one of them, this guy jumps into a Zoom with a judge in the courtroom, and he's doing it because he has a suspended license. And they're like in awe. They can't believe that this goon did this. So he's pulling in, he's on camera. You can't watch the video because it's been removed by the uploader. So I guess they took the video down. It just showed him pulling in, showed him showed all this in a video. Just pretty stupid. He's like pulling. He's like, yeah, wait just a second. I gotta park. He's like, all right, almost done. And he's on camera driving. I mean, you see the image right here. There, the judge, everyone is looking at him like, are you kidding me? Like, and the judge called him out. He's like, look, dude, like, you're driving and not supposed to be. He goes, you've got to, like, the end of the day, turn yourself in. Or, like, there's warrants out for you. All this other stuff. So, he put it on him for being, whatever his excuse was, going to a doctor or going somewhere, pulling into the parking lot, but they weren't having it. They were like, dude, you're a fool. You jump into a Zoom with the judge over your suspended license and you're driving. It doesn't get much dumber than that. Yeah, I thought it was pretty comical. You got smoked. All right. Let's turn this over here to some space weather real quick. We have the return of a very active sunspot. This is 3664. That is now 3697. As it makes its way back around the sun. You don't see this often. This is a large sunspot, very active. It harbors the energy to produce a lot of X flares, which it has, and it's doing it again. As soon as it came around the corner, it popped off an X flare and another. It says right here, they say that this is still potent. It just spit off another one at 1.1. It's just moving around to be more Earth directed at this point. And there was a massive radio blackout over America from this first one. And it just goes to show that even though it's just a little X1 and it's not one to bring down the grid, it can, if it's a direct hit, cause some blackouts, which we've seen. So they say that signals below like 30 megahertz faded for as much as 30 minutes after the flare's peak. So that's some disruption, man. And we're still on the top of this solar cycle, working our way through it. Solar cycle 25 here. And just letting you know, as we're getting a glancing blow, so to speak, by a CME from the last X flare. They're saying right now we should have G2 class geomagnetic storms through today and into tomorrow. And I'll just keep you updated with the CME that come up off of this one in the coming days. Now, people out there are also seeing a lot of this airglow. And this is not an aurora. Spiro checking in. Much love, my brother. Kev Bar. Salutes, gentlemen. But yeah, this airglow is a little bit different than the auroras. It was seen above Missouri this past week, and some people saying, "Oh, hold up, we're seeing more auroras." No, there's a difference there. The airglow is a chemical reaction in the upper atmosphere. It occurs when the oxygen atoms and oxygen molecules bump together, and they produce mainly these green type of photons. So you'll see a lot of green with these auroras, so to speak, type of auroras. But it's not from what people were thinking it was from. Let's turn to some quake activity. We have a little bit of activity here around the New Madrid. 2.7. This is in Arkansas. Right around that keyhole. Got to remember that the New Madrid fault is overdue. And it could come unzipped at any time. We've seen a lot of these little quakes up here in the Canada, New England area. We've got one that just hit a magnitude of 4 here out in the middle of South Dakota, which is kind of odd. You really don't see them there a whole lot in terms of America. And the most recent here looks like 5.6 in China. I'm going to say it probably didn't do too much damage. Prince Edward Islands, we got a magnitude 6. But a lot of the action that caught my attention here today was around New Zealand. You could see that, I mean, look at this swarming. It's got ongoing swarming. You can see here small quakes, 1s, 2s, 3s, maybe up to a 4. But these big quakes, the bigger swarms are getting closer and closer and closer. This was happening way up here. The Samoa, Fiji, Tonga areas. Now, and that's like the most active place on the planet, mind you. It is. 6.2s, swarming, heading out toward New Zealand still. Just keeping an eye on it. New Zealand, man, we've seen big quakes here in the past. That's about it with the quakes. Gonna keep it pushing. On to some talk of weather. Lowrider checking in. Much love. I believe it's a weapon. I believe it's being used as a weapon. It's definitely not just natural patterns, out there. We know too much at this point. Definitely not ignoring what we know. The technology they've got draped all over the place. From HARP up in Alaska down to ionospheric heaters down in Puerto Rico. They've got them everywhere in between. Always cloud seeding, always chemtrailing. And I've seen them steer these storms. I've seen them fuel them. These rain bombs look like they're definitely manipulated to be dumped in certain areas. But this is becoming a bigger and bigger issue here. J Bear, thank you for the coffee. They've got a warning out for this hurricane season to be, I think they said somewhere in the range, there was on average 3 to 4 normal Category 3 storms, and we're going to see like 4 to 7. We were going to see like on the high end, period. They're already saying that, and I expect these hurricanes to do a lot of damage. We ain't even begun. It's one of them things people just kind of forget about every year, and it creeps up and can blindside you. Problem with this is you just never know. Anywhere along the coastline down there, susceptible to these hurricanes coming in. And you just add this to our debt every time we get one of these big time events. It could cripple the country. It says that since 1980, there have been 383 extreme weather or climate disasters where the damages have reached at least $1 billion. In total, these disasters have cost more than $2.7 trillion. I see them do very little in the way of doing positive things with technology and with the weather. Just don't never see it. They could be making clean water here on this water world, putting up desalination plants all over the place. They could really make this a beautiful place somewhere. It's like, doesn't somebody want to try it somewhere? Well, I guess they are. They're out there doing it out in the desert in Dubai, their little playground. They said, forget about us, though. Forget about the everyday people, the goy. Let's let them suffer, right? Because that's what's happening. We've got the technology to do big things, good things. They're just not putting it out there. Sending all this money to Ukraine and these war fronts, this place is falling apart. On the last stream, I talked about, like, if you were going to flee wherever you're at right now, or not even flee, like, you can stay living where you're at and think you won for the coffee. Thank you, my brother. You can stay where you're at, but it's good and wise, don't you think, to have like a backup plan or a place to be able to go to run to, if you need to. You know, somewhere remote, somewhere in a place that maybe where you're living, working, everything right now, it's just not going to work, but a place that when the time comes, you can get to, go to. Well, in terms of thinking about a place to run to, as I said on the last stream, I would start, like me personally, my list. I start with, can I survive there? And that entails a handful of things, like a little checklist. And top of the list is growing your own food, being able to do that, and catching and collecting your own water. That is critical. And as we come to find out, you can't do that in every state. States are different. Some of the more arid desert type of states, they got restrictions and rules, rightfully so in some areas that are just flat out desert. I get it. But like, I don't know. Let's look at this one for Idaho. D. White posted this one. And I was like, wow, you know, this sucks for the farmers there. In Idaho, their Department of Water Resources is ordering the single largest curtailment of water use in the state's history. See, this is what happens when drought sets in. And drought is a weapon that no one's paying attention to. It's not exciting. And it creeps up and starts to kill. And I've watched them take this drought from the West Coast and push it into the interior, across the country, all the way to the Midwest, to where the past 2 years, you've seen the waters returning to normal levels, Lake Mead and other areas like that. People kind of surprised and shocked, but the drought has shifted to a different area. Their focus has. The last 2 summers, I ended them talking about how the Ohio and Mississippi was running dry. Boats were bottoming out. They couldn't traverse it with the major traffic. This is a big issue. Still is. So I'm going to bet we're going to see it again this summer. It's all by design. They could be doing a lot of things. I've sat back and looked at all these waterways where water stacks up and floods and builds, what they've got flowing to the river. Again, no money spent out here by this government to fix or do anything. Army Corps engineers is put in charge of a lot of these waterways and keeping track of them and doing whatever needs to happen. But they drop the ball a lot of times. These days, nothing is being done. So when I see this in Idaho, what's this going to affect? It projects that this is going to affect the amount would irrigate roughly 20,000 acres of farmland that's going to get shut off here with no water, no crops. This is crazy. I feel their pain. I see this as being a major weapon being used on the people. Try to cripple them. Try to make them submit. Imagine, just for a second, just imagine. Where all of a sudden it's hot summer, but it's hot in summer for week on week on week on week. Ain't been a drop of rain in sight. Wells are drying up. Panic starts to set in. Rivers are running dry. Again, just as predicted. Everyone's running out of water. When the wells start to run dry, that's when it's going to get scary for some folks. I said on the last stream, I'd be in a place where you can catch your own water. I don't care what you got to do. I don't care what you got to do. You survive. And you do whatever necessary. I'm just telling you, I foresee and I feel this hitting other places big time. And in a national emergency, they could try to swoop in and seize up all kinds of stuff. I mean, they put it in the NDAA year after year that in an emergency, like we officially went into with lockdowns, they could take over all this land, all this farmland, all the natural resources, all the water, all the fresh water in the Great Lakes. They'd seize it quick. Any big lake that you've got near you, any state lake, state park with a big lake in it, they're going to try and seize. Like down here in Kentucky, Tennessee, Kentucky border, we've got Big Lake Cumberland. And several other lakes. See, here in Kentucky's going to be a different animal. I'm telling you right now, they ain't going to let them come in and take it. This ain't going to happen. They won't do it. They're already telling them to get out. We're keeping our coal plants open. They can bounce. Hopefully your state starts to make a stand against the tyrannical beast, especially when it comes to our vital resources. Something's got to give somewhere. This is kind of scary. When you get in that position, I mean, that not having water and things like that is what led to the end of mass civilizations and the Mayans and all that, and these drought periods, people to move out of certain areas. And what's this next one say? Why are vast numbers of people relocating to small towns all across the country? Well, I'd say there's a lot of reasons, a lot of good reasons. Crown Jewel's in the house. Much love, my brother. Deanna in the house. But a lot of people, as it says here, are leaving the bigger cities. And this trend started 2020 when all the lockdowns and all that stuff began. And people have been in droves bouncing. It says here for many, the quality of life in the big U.S. cities has become utterly deplorable. Yeah. For example, one young Chicago mother recently had to wait for hours for the cops to show up after a masked robber entered her home. Can you imagine that? Call the cops, somebody's broken into your home, and you're sitting there for hours waiting. Chicago is something else. Ike, thank you for the donation. Appreciate it to the fullest. And thank you to everyone out there for the prayers. And those that share the stream. Lone Star in House. Much love. Bidenomics, you already know. The cost of everything, the cost of living crisis, so to speak, it's another major factor here. I've showed here recently several times how expensive it is to live in the state of Massachusetts. Very. Mississippi's housing cost is the lowest in the nation. Home prices range between $32,000 to $240,000, depending on the city, with an average of $160,000. And that is one of the main reasons why there's such a low cost of living, is because the average home price is lower in that area. So they say when you get up to Massachusetts and this New England, land of the milk and honey areas, the houses cost way more. Some areas that have become popular, that people try to run off to escape to, the prices are going through the roof. The median Median home price in Bozeman, Montana has risen to $770,000. Who's got that? I mean, you guys got $770,000 throw down on a normal house? I mean, they're referring to it as Bose Angeles, Bozeman, because of the skyrocketing prices. That is crazy. All the people trying to run up there. Wow. Now I like Big Sky Country. It's beautiful up there, all around Yellowstone. But dang, getting expensive. And I got a problem with some of the states out west, with like Nevada, that is like controlled by the feds. Like 99.9% of it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like a vast majority of the whole dang state is their little playground. And then, they pretty much control Utah the same way. All these places, they got big national parks. All those national park areas controlled by the feds. Every bit of it. Go through Utah, go through Arches, go through Zion. All these beautiful national parks that are everywhere. But they control them. All the way down to the Four Corners regions, Canyonlands, all of it. They control it all. It's ridiculous. And here recently they came out and they said the Biden administration, they're going to stop anyone from being able to go in and drill for natural gas or oil in any of those places. I don't see how someone could survive out in the Four Corners area of this country. Region. It's so arid, 120 degrees. It's crazy. But a lot of people are moving toward Appalachia, it says. Seeding into Carolinas, Tennessee, northern Georgia, my state, Kentucky, West Virginia, things like that. That's what the numbers are showing. All right, going to keep it pushing here. The Chicago PMI index, I wanted to point this out, has cratered to depression levels. I've been seeing a lot of this. Depression this, depression that. It's like, all right, well, we're there. And this is just another one. Breaks it back up. It's like we're at depression levels. This flat out states it. All right, we got some alerts here. We've been talking about beef prices, how you should try to find some kind of way around what's coming here, because the walls are closing in. They're trying to cut us off from eating the red meat, beef. They want us to eat more of this Bill Gates product, obviously. And of course, if he's invested in that, then they would be invested in doing everything they can to get us to stop eating the real meat, no matter what it is. How many different scams, gimmicks pop up, or threats, it's going to all go into their favor. So, here's one. China halting their beef shipments from right out of the United States, coming from the JBS SA's meat processing plant in Colorado, after they have detected traces of ractopamine, which is in this beef intended to go to China. So this is the Brazil-based JBS. It's the world's largest beef producer. They're trying to figure this out. Well, this has been banned in like all kinds of countries. The United States at one point said that farmers could use this because farmers trying to use this on their animals to beef up their muscles and all this other stuff. And it was approved by the FDA back in 1999. But by 2009, the EU banned it after finding data that did not support the conclusion that the drug was safe. So this is being found in the meat, and this is coming from the biggest producer in the world. And what's coming out of the United States has got this in it. what's this going to do next? Soon as China got an inkling or a whiff of that this was in it, heading for their country, they were like, shut it down, stop it. Who are they going to push this off on? Or just going to go to waste? How much more has got it in it? Guys, I'm telling you, it's time to get on top of this stuff. You can't trust nothing getting pushed out there. At all. Imagine all the meat patties going to all these Wendy's and McDonald's and all that got this crap in it. Fast food, what? Wasn't last show we talked about the McDonald's dude got famous for eating McDonald's for 30 days. He died of cancer. Kind of ironic. The guy did to bring awareness to it, but then ended up dying in that way. It's crazy. Shout outs to Lowrider. And thank you, Lowrider, for sending me in this one. The Bay Area. I've reported here recently several different places closing down. But this one in particular, this is car maker Lucid. They lay off hundreds of workers after raising $1 billion. Oh, take the money and run, huh? Seems like what they did. And they're citing the atmosphere, the climate right now, the slowdown. They're like, no one's buying the EVs. And everybody knows it. It's just not going to work. I've told you how Ford and all these other companies, they've all taken loss after loss after loss already. And they're being mandated by the government to keep going down this path. So they're all just eating it. I'm telling you, it's going to cause the downfall of all these companies as well. It's all by design. And they're just going along with it like idiots. Tearing down their companies like all the other companies that have gone already in this country in the process. All through these schemes and scams. Trying to force feed this EV crap down people's throats, and they ain't having it. You know, people deserve to have the freedom of options. If you want gas powered, a hybrid, or EV, it should be up to you to choose, not forced down your throat. And I really have heard really good reviews about the hybrids. I've never heard anything bad thus far from the people I know that have them. Because it's set up different. You don't have to set a charge station and stuff. It charges itself while you're driving with the gas in the gas mode. It's set up completely different. And they like it. It's economical. They just like it. It works the right way, I guess. And forcing the EV is cost this administration in this country and a lot of other countries, I think, just to try to go down the path. You can't force none of this stuff, man. So, we'll keep it pushing here. Could we see another bank failure? We could. I think anytime. Nice little distraction. You know what? They're all looking over here. Get something going over here. It all started just like on a Monday or whatever. Just one bank, then another. And all these banks started getting involved. And SVB. All that stuff. I don't know. I think that the banks, and it could have something to do with crypto here in the end. Just hear me out. A lot of these crypto places have been called out because in the beginning, they were said to be acting like they had a bunch of assets that they didn't have. Same thing that they tried to say about Trump. They're trying to say that you don't really have all these assets. You're trying to say that you've got all this money backing this crypto, but we don't believe you. Show me your books. And this is where a bunch of the crypto places ran when they did this. This is what started it all, man. And the Fed's coming knocking. They're like, we want to see this, that, and the other. And they're like, we're out. and many of them dipped. I've told you, we've gone through the whole thing. Even all the head dudes getting chased down and prison sentences and all that. Even CZ from Binance. Because this stuff is fraudulent in many ways. And many of these coins and projects are. And they're not backed by anything. And I'm telling you, when the banks that are tied into these fraudulent crypto places come down, like a big giant one comes down, dude, this whole world of crypto could come crashing down. And I almost feel that timing's everything. I almost feel that this could play into their hand by design, because they control Bitcoin. It was made by the NSA. They control the whole game, for crying out loud. All the market's rigged. But you have to have certain things happen when crypto comes down. Like right now, certain things aren't going to happen because crypto's high. Like if they were coming after crypto, it wouldn't be high. So expect that when they start to come after crypto, it's going to come down, or while it's coming down. While it's coming down in free fall, as always, it's what they call FUD. All these news cycles are going to come out, dark information, all these things about crypto. They're going to be like, oh no, this bank didn't have any funds and it was fraudulent. Now they believe that dozens of others were just fakes and fronts. And oh my gosh, it could create literally a run on the banks. Like it could be just like they did the last Great Depression. They planned it. They planned a whole run on the bank so they could steal everybody's stuff. And I'm telling you, they're about to steal everyone's 401ks. They're about to take every bit of it. You think for a second they're going to leave it on the table? Hell no. They're taking everything. But they're going to take the 401ks. They took a huge chunk right when lockdowns happened. When everything dipped, Bitcoin dropped to $4,000, all the markets tanked. Where do you think it went? Where do you think it went? Just disappeared to thin air? No. Other people took it out of the accounts and stuck it in theirs. That's what happens. Every time a stock tanks, why? It's because men are selling. They're cashing out, man. And leaving you to hold the bag. That's how this game works. Seriously considering coming down to one of the conferences. Well, brother, thank you for the coffees there, Lowrider. Brother, we've missed you. One of the conventions. Gotcha. Had to blow it up there. I tell you what. I'm targeting RNC, man. You should hit me up. You hit me up like direct. Hit me up, man. You get on the phone and hash some things out. Because we'd be riding with a team. We'd probably have a thick squad. When we did last time, covered RNC and all. We squatted up. You see all these people in the street that know you, and it just grows. It's a crazy feeling. Raybo, thank you for that. Last RNC, man, like I told you see all these famous people, and the people see you. It's crazy. So many people yelling your name from out of nowhere. It's kind of, I don't know. Sometimes it gets a little freaky. But it's cool, man. I love the atmosphere. I'd love to see you, man. Let me know. I'm going to keep it pushing here. I wanted to point out a couple central banks that were selling gold, but all the rest are still buying. Don't be fooled here. The only reason Thailand is selling is because for some time they say that they've tanked all their economy. What they're doing is they're selling to pay off all kinds of debt and all this other stuff. So, I mean, that's what some people do. Matter of fact, if you would have bought gold years ago when I told you to, right about now would be a good time. If you're hurting, definitely it would have been a good investment, was it not? I know it was. Don't tell me, because I did it. Gold and silver. And it saved my ass when needed. Let me just put it to you like that. I believe long holding gold and silver from here, you can never go wrong with. You know, and Bishcoin, you said, Raybos. Yeah, I'd have a little bit of everything, man, in your arsenal to trade with. Again, who you trading with? You ever gonna stop to sit down and think about that? Seriously. It talks about all these plans, all this crazy crap happening, going down all the time. Like, who do you know? What neighbor do you got? You gonna trade for what? What do they got? Like, you ever sat down and thought of any of this? I think it's about time. Spend a couple minutes before you fall asleep tonight thinking about it. I sure would. Because that's what it comes down to, man. These crazy times, people around you who you can trade with, barter with. If you've got a bunch of something you're looking to trade with, but the other people don't care. Say you got a bunch of gold, silver, and the other people don't care. So you got a bunch of ammunition and stuff they don't care. What they want is some food items to trade. It's also what they got. They got maybe some things that you need. Maybe even some medicines. Things to think of, man. You know, what's really valuable, I look down at the chat. First thing comes to my mind is things like medicines, for sure. What about all your diabetics out there? Need insulin. All these things, they're dead. This can be a crazy, hectic time, dude. I mean, even stop and think about this stuff. Somebody needs to. Somebody needs to be the responsible one. Lowrider. Much love again. And KY Mountain with us. Much love, B. I gotta hook up with you, brother. Been long overdue. Copper going through the roof along with these metals. And look, I told you last time they were cutting down telephone poles during storms, and they're stripping the wire off. Oh boy, dude, you're gonna see a lot more of that. Watch it. Watch. I'm telling you, old boys will gut homes of the copper in it and just let the water spew and flood the place out. They do not care. When these storms are coming through, they're now got the bright idea, chop down the poles and just take out. I mean, the more the merrier is the way they're seeing it. They're getting out of there with it. Well, look at this. Because they're redoing lines, they're saying that telecoms is sitting on $7 billion worth of old cable. Old cable. I don't see, I mean, in all reality, a lot of that can just be stripped down and repurposed. You know, put the fresh rubber and stuff around it. As long as the metal's not damaged, it's still the same solid metal that will serve the same purpose to pass power through. Well, yeah, if India's moving all their gold from the UK back to India, that's a huge move, and it just shows you everyone's doing it, and they're doing it because they have to back their digital currencies, what we're getting ready to go to, with it. That's the whole scheme, plot and scheme here. They're backing everything with gold contracts and with gold, which I see them confiscating gold from the everyday people all over the planet, even here again. I believe it happened. Under a crisis situation, oh yeah. If they say that they're going to back our national currency with it, the 40%, like we've discussed, gold would run up to like between $20,000 and $30,000. And they keep saying this, so I'd watch out. I expect. Copper has its advantages for many different things. Okay, there's certain secrets to these metals they're not telling you. There's more to these precious metals that make them precious. than what most people can even fathom. Just as fiber is a cheaper replacement. Well, depending on the application, yeah. But like, say, for instance, for water, there's a reason to use copper in water. Copper has a property that the Egyptians even knew and figured out, and this is where it all comes from. It has an antibacterial property. Did you know that? It's almost magical. When you run water through copper piping, it kills the bad bacteria in it. They knew this. Your average Joe doesn't. The Anunnaki, they came here and they created their slave race to get gold. Why? Because they were going to use gold to fix the atmosphere of their planet. It is that special of a property. We already know that eating nano amounts of gold and silver, it's true, can help you in major ways. Even the silver helps the collodion and all that. It helps get the oxygen into the cells where these other things are stopping it. It's crazy. Meantime, instead of great things being pushed out there, every day we've got something disastrous happening. I hate to have to report on it all the time, but that's what we're doing. We're reporting on the Titanic sinking here while we're on it as it's going down. So Biden, after draining all of our reserves and then putting in the motion that they had to get rid of the whole eastern seaboard's 1 million barrels, they finalized a rule that could cripple all the offshore companies. And they're doing it to cripple this country. He's wiped us out. Now he's going to stop them from doing anything. Well, I'm telling you, dude, this country has got to get turned around quick. It's about to go over the waterfall. We've got to get it turned around quick. I'm serious. Theatrics aside. You could sit here and say, oh, it's rigged, it's this and that, they control this and that. So, okay, we figured that much out. Now let's do something about it. Everyone just sitting there, we're smoked. And that's real. Be real. All right, keeping it pushing. Shout outs to Hoodie Ross. Man, my man lost his job. I think he's quickly picking up doing some dashing. But my man was dedicated and got a job at a casino that they let him in, hired him, was happy, was rolling with it, and they knew he just got out of prison. They knew all this stuff. And they let him work a couple weeks and they come back like, oh, you failed your background check. Well, you were in prison. Like, he told you this. It just pissed me off, man. Man, striving to do good things out here. And they did that to him. Jerked his chain on him. Anyhow, much love, Hoodie Ross. Down in Louisiana. Well, here's one for you. Well, my man, Hoodie, for example, got into it with cops. And most of the time, brothers don't survive what he went through. They came after him, put hands on him. He fought back, went for their gun. All that, it usually don't end well. But I've learned out there that there's definitely a crooked faction to everyday street cops out there in different areas. I know there's good cops out there. I know it. I've met them. I've seen them. And I know there's corrupt ones. We all know it. Well, I like keeping people honest. And anytime I've been like to Ferguson, Baltimore, and these places, when you got your camera rolling, you're live streaming, you're keeping everyone honest. Like we're on film. Like everyone's watching. What you gonna do? And if the police going to act up or do something, they get caught. Right there. So Louisiana makes it illegal to approach a police officer engaged in executing their duties. we'll break this down for you. What this means here is, this is going to go foul real quick because they can just sweep a whole street. Normally, if the press, a journalist even, is running in the street, depending on where you're at, the cops see you standing there filming, big old thing says press on you, and you've talked to them, you said this and that. They know you're not one of the protesters and that. They're not going to try to beat you down. But when things get heated up out there, next thing you know, you're getting flashbanged. You're getting pepper sprayed. You're getting shotguns thrown in your face. I've had it all done to me out there. And it ain't fun. And a lot of these dudes do it in just a red way. I'm a journalist. I didn't deserve none of it out there. I seen them turn on me in the blink of an eye. Now imagine, you're in Louisiana now covering something, and they got somebody on the ground, and whatever, you're trying to film the thing, and you're giving them their space. You're giving them 10, 20 feet even. You're not even up next to them. And then all of a sudden, this more come running in and clothesline you and take you down. Guess what? How are you going to argue anything right there? They're going to say that you were messing with officers engaged in executing their duties. And they're going to take everybody down. And you ain't going to have a leg to stand on. So this is scary. Right here. It's like Gestapo. Like, you need eyes and ears, because the moment that you do not have cameras and eyes and ears to keep them honest, they get even more tyrannical. Start telling you to bite the curb and stomping on heads. All of it doesn't matter. And they get nasty out here. I've seen it. I've been in it. National Guard in Ferguson saved us from a beatdown by the police down there. Sure did. I've never seen the police do anything good in any of these situations, in these frontline protests, besides calls go to war. I mean, I don't know, man. In Louisville, I watched these dudes burn down the city just a few years ago, and the cops sat there and watched it. Watched it. Did not go after a soul. I wanted to. I wanted to clock one of these dudes running out of the store with all these cell phones. I'm like, dude, some kind of justice has got to be served here. You really about to make me not going to see it would have turned ugly. I was by myself, hoodlums running around everywhere, and 100 cops, a wall of them just standing there. Reminded me of the dudes off Wizard of Oz. I mean, it's just how they were. They were marching around in their dark uniforms. And they weren't doing nothing. Just marching around all slow. It was satanic crap, man, I'm telling you. While these dudes vandalized and burned down 4th Street. Cops didn't do anything. Buildings on fire. It pissed me off. I've seen it time and time again. They're told to stand down and just let the town burn. This is a setup, dude. George Soros is sending his minions in. Let them do their thing. Pisses me off. Let's keep it going. Let's keep it going here. Out of California, the Assembly passes a measure allowing illegal migrant students to work at California colleges and universities. They pass a measure to allow illegal. I don't care who it is, what it is. It's illegal. Illegal. Let's start right there. Let's not stop. Let's keep it right there until they out. Okay? But no, they just gave them a green light, letting illegals, invaders, come in here. Now they're going to let them work at the colleges and universities. Dude, get the fuck out of here. Dude, I don't even know. What do so many people in California that live here think? I got some of my people that what are you thinking when you see all this happening? You can let your kids grow up and go to college where illegal janitor to slices the throat and stabs him to death or whatever happens. You can put up with this? Like, we're the illegals. They're taking the jobs from all of you because they allowed them. Like, dude, where's the stand going to be made? Like, I get it. You don't want to put up with it. You want to bounce from Cali. It's sad. California's beautiful, but it's Commie-ville. We all know it's not a secret. It's tyrannical. Who does this? Well, they do here in Cali. And it's putting everyday people in a bad position, I'm telling you. It's just not good at all, man. Colleen in the house. Much love. Thank you. Good to see you. I appreciate that. As always. Man, I'm just looking out for my people, man. I believe in like the founding intentions of this country. This is a country built on migrants. And yes, that's how we are. We're all different shapes, sizes, and colors, and I love that about the country. But dude, you gotta come here legitimately, legally. And that's where it starts, and that's where it ends with me. It doesn't go anywhere else besides there with me. I can't go into Mexico. I get my ass kicked out. I can't go into Canada. I'll get my ass kicked out. So why are they special? Why is everybody else so special above me? I'm sick of it. Y'all come up in here illegally and get all these rights, get IDs, get jobs, all this, and I can't get nothing? I can't go into your country that you came from and get the same? That's garbage. Some point, something's got to give. Okay, so look at this. Pennsylvania stepping up the bat. They got a lawsuit here, seeks to end the lawless non-citizen voting in Pennsylvania. So, different end of the spectrum. We see Cali down there letting them on in, giving them jobs in the universities. And then over here in Pennsylvania, their new law seeks to end anyone like that from voting, which is how it should be. Should not have any illegals, any non-citizens casting any kind of vote. Now, they want to go through the proper measures, as I would have to enter into the country or to become a citizen, then that's fine. You do that, you're welcome, you're one of us. You know what I'm saying? Be properly vetted and all this other stuff. But nah. This place is getting filled with trained assassins to come out the shadows at any time. And America's going to find out the hard way. Like a bunch of idiots. Everybody sat there watching them come across the border by the millions. I wonder where they're going. Hope they don't come to my town. Dude, people need smacked with a ball bat. It's ridiculous. They're here. They're here, man. Lock and load. Get ready. Get ready. It ain't no conspiracy. Ain't no wonder they're here. You know it. You're here. Just in time for the big show, huh? Let's get it going here with the politics. Trumpy. The trumpet. Donald Trump. Guilty. That's crazy. I looked down, seen 734 watching, look up, seen 34. Synchronicities here. Okay, so Trump found guilty. 34 counts. I'm going to play a little clip here that goes over this on how they read this whole thing off. So I'm going to play this. It's a couple minutes long so you guys can see how this officially unfolded out there if you missed it.
There's a screen, and on that screen, that's where they see an image of Judge Merchan and the jury, as Ari saying, and Donald Trump and his attorneys and the prosecutors. That screen is still in standby mode, which means we've got a verdict. Ari Melber.
We are looking at count 1, guilty. Count 2, guilty. Count 3, guilty. Count 4, guilty. Count 5, guilty. Those are the first 5 counts coming out of this jury finding Donald J. Trump guilty on the first 5 felony counts. Reading the rest as we are getting it from our court reporters.
Starting with count 6.
Count 6, guilty. Count 7, guilty. Count 8, guilty. And you'll see on the screen we're tracking ahead. Count 9, guilty. Count 10, guilty. Count 11, guilty. Count 12, guilty. Count 13, guilty. Count 14, guilty. Count 16, guilty. Count 17, guilty. Count 18, guilty. Count 19, guilty. Count 20, guilty. Count 21, guilty. Count 22, guilty. Count 23, guilty. Count 24, guilty. Count 25, guilty. Count 26, guilty. Count 27, we're seeing that on the screen, guilty. Count 28, guilty. Those are the first 28 felony counts here as read by the jury. Count 29, guilty. Count 30, guilty. Count 31, guilty. Count 32, guilty. Count 33 and 34, guilty.
There you go. You just took into your memory banks there the historic moment that they just found former President Donald Trump guilty on all freaking charges. Now, I want to play a little clip of the response here.
It was a rigged trial by a conflicted judge who was corrupt. It's a rigged trial, a disgrace. They wouldn't give us a venue change. We were at 5% or 6% in this district, in this area. This was a rigged, disgraceful trial. The real verdict is going to be November 5th by the people. And they know what happened here, and everybody knows what happened here. You have a Soros-backed DA and the whole thing. We didn't do a thing wrong. I'm a very innocent man, and it's okay. I'm fighting for our country. I'm fighting for our Constitution. Our whole country is being rigged right now. This was done by the Biden administration in order to wound or hurt an opponent, a political opponent. And I think it's just a disgrace. And we'll keep fighting. We'll fight till the end, and we'll win, because our country's gone to hell. We don't have the same country anymore. We have a divided mess. We're a nation in decline, serious decline. Millions and millions of people pouring into our country right now from prisons and from mental institutions, terrorists, and they're taking over our country. We have a country that's in big trouble. But this was a rigged decision right from day one with a conflicted judge who should have never been allowed to try this case, never. And we will fight for our Constitution. This is long from over. Thank you very much.
So there you go. So what this does now, this sets a lot of things into motion. You know, this is that one. You had all these things going down. You were waiting. Which case, which trial, which one was it going to be that they really tried to stick it to them? Fair or not fair? I mean, just really stick it to them and tell everybody to deal with it. Like, guilty on this many, it brings up all the discussions. Well, July 11th is the big day. 7/11. Now, imagine that. 7/11, as you guys say in the chat, yes. All eyes on that for the conviction date. He's convicted. To put him away, basically. To try to say that whatever his sentence is going to be. Sentencing. Kathy, thank you for the 3 coffees. Yeah, everybody needs to stand alert and buckle up. You got that right. Good to see you. Thank you for the support. It's that time. It's that time. It really is, man. This isn't a time to be chilling and relaxing and kicking back, man. This is really good. This is big time, guys. All the years we've talked about it, this moment, it's all pointed to this window. These months leading up, right in this election year, to this moment. We are there. We are in it. We're in the thick of it all. Here we go. Any day, any time now, major things I feel are going to start swinging into motion. Let me continue here. Let me keep on going here. You just heard Trump saying how they're going to appeal the scam and all that. But look at this. Trump's New York felony conviction cannot keep him from becoming president. Yep. You guys seen? He just got convicted, felony conviction, 34 counts, falsifying business records related to hush money. So the Constitution imposes very few prerequisites for a president. Free thinker, man. Good to see you. Thank you for the coffee. Appreciate it to the fullest. Good to see you. Hope all is well. As I was saying, the Constitution imposes very few prerequisites to be president here, and a candidate, first off, must be at least 35 years old, a natural-born citizen, and a U.S. resident for a minimum of 14 years. It says nothing about the impact of a felony conviction stopping someone from running as president and serving. So, going off of that right there, they're saying, we know he's old enough. We know he's natural-born citizen. We know he's been here. He checks off all those. So it's like, then they really don't have, when you're looking at the Constitution for the basis of this, they really don't have nothing else to stop him. States could try to take him off the ballot, which is crazy. But even Ohio was just talking about taking Biden off of it for some crazy reason or whatever. Man, I've seen crazier. I guess I don't rule it out. Like, let's bring it on. I guess we're waiting for we got to slide through the month of June here. And look at Trump here. Trump brought in with this conviction. And this is when you heard everybody saying that if he gets convicted, it's only going to help him. Like, he's definitely going to win. All this and that. And all that, I'm telling you, seems to be leaning in that direction. Mind you, they could still give you Joe Biden in the end. What is everybody going to do about it? You'd never be able to fathom that right now. What if they did? People couldn't have fathomed it before. And they gave you Joe Biden. What if they give you something else this time? And again, dude, we're entering that part of the race here. I really do feel like there's a possibility that something, an ailment or something can happen to Joe Biden at any time. Fall down a flight of steps accidentally and get seriously injured or something crazy. Seriously, anything. Any kind of health event or scare, and it removes him from candidacy, from to be in it. This means a dark horse. comes charging in out of the shadows. And we've discussed a million times on who could possibly be. But I see that scenario being a very possible one. It removes Joe from the equation smoothly for them and enters in this last minute Democratic pick that, since it's going to be last minute, we talked about this last time, there's some kind of emergency little quick vote thing they do, and dude, they're just going to slide in their pick. It's just that simple. They do it that way. We've known it the whole time. That's why I'm bringing it up again. The window's there for it. The stage is actually set for it. So, and RFK being this third wheel thing, we'll look at that here in a second. But Trump bringing in $39 million after this, people just like, look, we're here to help you. I seen the dude over on Zero Hedge top. We get a thing posted where somebody there said they donated $300,000 to Trump in all this. So the people definitely out there supporting and backing Trump, because some are seeing this as being beyond Trump. It's not just a Trump thing. It's like bigger than that. It's like, it's anything. It's like, you gotta have something besides what we have now. And even some people from like the left are saying it. I want to show you here in a second. This one says, the Trump verdict is pivotal for undecided voters. It's pivotal. And all these people were posting all the stuff that I'll vote for the felon, I'll vote for a felon. It's all I keep seeing the images of. All these felons saying that they vote for the felon. Across the board. Yeah, look at this. These black and Hispanic Biden voters plan to vote for Trump. It's a huge swing. To me, in this climate, he should smoke anyone. I mean, have you ever been to or seen a Trump rally, for crying out loud? I would do it one time. Even if you're not voting for Trump. You're awake to the whole left-right paradigm. I'm just saying, to experience it. You'll quickly see that when you're having a hard time finding a parking spot, that this dude packs places. And that if you went into a Biden event, there's literally just dozens. That's it. Just dozens of people, a lot of which are, forced to be there, I'm sure, paid. But it's comical. Very little. We watched the Democrats years ago. They hijacked it was a Labor Day, Memorial Day, one of the two. I can't remember. It was summertime, warm weather event at a park up in Cleveland or somewhere, wherever it was at. I just remember they rolled in and they tried to take advantage of all the families that were just there at the park enjoying the day and use them in their backdrop. And all these people realized it and started to move and shift around. They're like, no. It was crazy. I was like, damn. I was like, they really are desperate. Like, they really don't have, like... That's when I really first started to see it. I'm like, they really don't have... Like, is this whole site, this whole thing fake? Like, seriously. Well, then when you start to see all their other events, it becomes rather obvious that, yeah, there's nothing there. There's nothing there. When you realize a little bit of what's there is like paid protesters, even that's not real. Like, what is going on? Like, how does the ones that had a record number of votes in history have no one at their events? Simple question. Figured I'd let you marinate on it for a second because pretty simple question. But look, Dennis Quaid, same dude that was just pushing that movie, promoting a blackout that's coming. Remember, he was doing it. He says, I think I'm going to vote for Trump. Yeah. He's got this biopic coming out called Reagan. I guess he's playing Reagan. But he says it's simply because of the attack on him. He goes, I was never in a million years going to vote for Trump. Never. He was like on the other side of this whole thing. He goes, but now what they've done to him, I think I'm going to vote Trump. And like a ton are saying this, and it's crazy. It's like, then what's left over there on the other side? All right, let's bring in the third wheel. RFK comes limping in. Old hair. I was going to call him some things, but I'll stop. I'll refrain from doing it. I see through this dude. I just have a basic statement about a Kennedy. If a real Kennedy is going to run in politics, well, then you know what the outcome usually is. If it's a fake Kennedy, well, then they have a long career. Safe career. They don't get their head blown off. Huh? So, Elon was set to, there was breaking news that he was going to be a part of Trump's administration or part of this and that, and he denied that on X. He shot it down. I seen it. He was like, no. He goes, that's not true. Yeah. So I just made that up. But I wouldn't mind seeing some debates here. But I really do genuinely believe at this point that RFK was he was and is a well manicured and placed individual in the timeline of all of this. And they inserted him during the whole lockdown era. And they brought him out into the forefront, really, there. And they did so under the guise and name of Children's Health Defense Fund. Oh, what a brilliant name. To just, it is. And under that, people were like, oh, this has got to be a good place. Children's Health Defense Fund. They got to stand for something good. And they were putting out what seemed to be good information. It was all counter jab and all this stuff. And he was making a stand. And he was getting attacks for it. And he was taking them. And it built him up. It started to build him up. You know what I'm saying? That's where he was starting to earn a little bit of strife in people's eyes. And they're like, oh, okay. He's this before he was even announced presidential run. Before it was ever even mentioned. They then seeded him into the minds of all these people as being this certain individual that maybe stood a chance to do something here in the minds of some. But for those that take a step back and they can see it, they can see that no. Everything he says, it just seems to be, I take it now, it's all scripted and fake. He's just telling you what you want to hear, literally. He'll tell you whatever. He knows what you want to hear, so he'll say it. Seen him flip-flop on things and all this stuff, and I really feel that he is in here to maybe potentially, to definitely pull votes from Trump. And I think it hurts Trump more than Biden. Well, let's just be real. Like, I just told you everything about Biden. Where was the people when I go to these places? Like, in the reality of it, it's like everyone that I seen out there was leaning like this way toward Trump. I don't know, man. The debate, interesting. I'd probably watch it to see what they say, what goes down. This town hall is going to be hosted by X and the cable news network News Nation. So this little event does not have any moderators picked yet. So more information yet to come out of this. What's to say now here real quick? Meanwhile, Biden and Trump have agreed to a June 27th debate. And I done went through the whole list of rules. They came out with all these rules and stipulations when it come to Biden. Like, there couldn't even be a crowd in the room. And like, so you couldn't hear any boos or laughs or anything like that. Or all his questions he has to like get beforehand. He has to know everything before they go out there, so it can all be practiced and like all this stuff. And it was ridiculous. Well, he gets breaks apparently, so they're gonna run commercials. They're just gonna pop in with commercials. So that's gonna be the key during this debate when they just hurry up and they're like, "We'll be right back," but boom, out, boom, they're gone. That's when they can reset him and do whatever they gotta do. RFK filed a complaint to try to get into that debate. We'll see. I don't see how he can get into anything. He didn't even win the Libertarian pick. They looked right past him and they went after this one dude, this one Fruit Loop, and that dude got it. That's crazy. Anyhow, Tucker Carlson makes mention that, Trump could get sniped here. He could get killed. He's like, Trump could or will win the election if he's not killed first. So you talk about somebody that's really putting that fear out there into the minds of people, or at least it's dropping the seed into the mind of the masses that something could happen. I remember years ago when a dude went running up and dove on stage for Trump's leg. I believe it was in Columbus or in Ohio somewhere at one of those rallies. It always made me think, like, dang, man, the dude got that close. Like, dude, like, it made me think all types of things. Like, dude got like that. It was nuts. Made me think all types of craziness. And I've been to Trump rallies and I've seen Trump come out within, 10 feet of me. I've seen Trump right there. Right there. And look at all the people around him. Like, if there's a nutcase in here, like, yeah, the Secret Service dude's around this and that, but like, I don't know. When the dude jumped on stage, it was almost like, damn, like, he could have jumped. If he had like anything that was stuck in his leg or something, like, I don't know, it just shocked me. Like, damn, they let him get that close. But yeah, and with all these threats and all the tension in the air, I don't know, man. Tucker Telegraph and stuff like that, man. Here you see Musk denies the report of him working with the Trump administration. Straight up, right there, right off X. There's not been any discussions of a role for me in a potential Trump presidency. He just flat out said it. It's one good thing about social media and being able to follow some of these people out there is that you can get statements and quotes right from the horse's mouth, and you can like a flat out lie coming through MSN right there. Just shoots it down real quick. It's like, dude, man, it's that bad. They just push a Bold-faced lie right there. He jumps up there like, nah, ain't happening. It's like, okay. So I got to take Elon's word for it. You see Elon's lying? Well, we'll see. He's going to set himself up like that. So Reuters comes out and is claiming that Trump supporters want to spark riots, that they want violent retribution. Boy, oh boy. Dude, get ready for something. They're about to do something. I haven't seen any specific person, any big talking head from the Trump side, any one of them come out making statements, right from their mouth, saying that to go start violent anything. They can send anyone out here, any Fed with a Trump hat on, to do or say anything. Come on. People got to be smart here. It's time to have your head on a swivel. It's time to be smart. Because I think something's about to happen. Some kind of attack form. I mean, enemies in here all over the place. So okay, one dude tweets out this, and they want to say, "Oh, Trump supporters are saying this." I mean, is dude even a Trump supporter? Skeptical, stoic? I mean, I don't even know, but like, yeah, this just has to feel to me for something to happen. Like some kind of event is coming up. Which one? We got to figure out. David, thank you for the coffee. Yes, they are. They're always doing their occult rituals. And that's exactly what this would be a part of, this next event. But this is what we got to figure out. We got a handful of things coming up here. We need to get them all on the radar. Just as I said last time, we're entering that month, their Pride Month. As I pointed out on one of the previous shows, there are events all across the country. And we could start to see, if they want to bust loose some terror attacks, I'm telling you, the time is right. This is what you look for. You look at the atmosphere, everything that's going on around it. All of everything is aligning perfect for something to happen. Something, whether it's a Trump event gets attacked, one of these LGBT, whatever, or Pride events that get attacked, people mowed down, ran over. I don't know. I'm telling you, it seems like something is about to, who knows, it could go down and they could blame it on Trump supporter. I mean, how simple is that to see? But yet, that is exactly what I would expect them to do. Do you see what I'm saying? Because it seems like the other side here can cause all kinds of mayhem. They can protest, they can go wherever, they can do whatever they want, and like there's no repercussions. But yet here they're threatening Trumpers want to start riots and violent, retribution, revolution type crap. Like, get out of here. Like, it just screams to me honeypot. I don't know what event we're at, but something is screaming honeypot. So Biden is going to use an executive order to try to fix the border situation. And they think that this is going to save face for election time. But I'm telling you, and you should already know, it's way too late. A staggering 10 million illegals have poured into the United States. You heard that right. 10 million. Don't you forget it when I cite this number again in the future, because it's growing and growing. Some say that's even small. That's not even the real number. That's just what they're giving you. I told you before, at least a quarter of them are the Chinese. That means there's literally millions of Chinese here, and Chechens, Russians. Here, staking out our bases. Dude, we're there. We're there. You couldn't get any more heightened. You couldn't get any closer. You couldn't, like right there. They are saying that elite colleges are more likely to have tent cities and this crap going on at them than smaller Pell colleges. This is how they call it. Pell students. It's how they break them down and classify them. There's some kind of lower class. You get Pell Grants. You're Pell students. And you can't go to these more elite colleges. And they call them elite. The elite colleges is where they're saying these encampments are springing up. So it's the kids of the wealthy that are participating in this. Go figure. In this charade. And then all the rest are being paid by George Soros and company. And it's not a secret. It's open knowledge. How this guy is still free and not in court, it just blows my mind. He lives right here in New York City, in the United States. It just makes no sense to me. He's like the boss hog and villain of the video game. He's calling all the shots, sending militants like Scarface across the Mediterranean into Europe, all across the United States to wherever he wants. Wherever he wants, whatever situation. He has a little NGO that controls it in whatever little town. They throw money at it. They start busting them in. It's the same old song and dance all the time. Same thing with BLM. We knew it. We watched it the whole time. Now it's this pro, front group here. And look at this. They're saying that this pro-Palestinian group claims to have cut a fiber cable at a UK defense factory that's making our F-35 targeting systems. Dude, this screams all types of madness. They're cutting cables at like a military installation where they're making the stuff going into our F-35s that are falling out of the sky left and right, like not even 30% could go to war, they're telling us. Yet these dudes, these pro-Palestinian people, which what we saw at a lot of the universities here were a lot of young girls and all this other stuff, surely wasn't BLM. But is it them? Is that who's out here cutting these cables? Or is this where all the guys were sent? Huh? I'm trying to figure that out. Because someone is out here cutting the fiber cables at this defense factory. And this is crazy. And it's connected to this group. That means that they're doing terroristic things right there. I mean, okay. Shifted up here into the final gear here of the evening. Hit this last 15-minute leg. We're going to get an update here with what's going on with World War III. Because that's on the table too, in the cards here. With Russia, even though the world's a stage, it's all play. We know this. All the war fronts, that's why they call them theaters. Theaters of war. It's like telling you right in your face. Thank you, Luis. Thank you for 3 coffees. Much love, brother. Right back at you. So, as you can see on the screen, this says Denmark says that Ukraine can now strike targets inside of Russia with these Danish supplied F 16s. This is bold. All of a sudden, this week, within the past week or so, something's changed. There's a new direction. They never wanted to do this, okay? Because it could lead to nuclear war. That was the threat this whole time. You never wanted to get Russia in this position. What did Russia just do this past week? Snap out of anywhere, just out of nowhere. Tactical nuclear drills, big time, all along the border. And they threw out an offer. They said, we'll stop everything right now, but we're claiming all the territory we're sitting in. We're not giving nothing back. Every little town and city we've taken, we're keeping. And it's new Russian territory. That's where they're at. That's what they're saying. Now check this out. It was been said left and right. If U.S. weapons or troops or NATO weapons get used at all, it will start World War III. That's what they keep saying. So what's happening now? They're doing just that. And they're doing it openly and big time, and they're all doing it. Denmark saying that they can strike with their stuff. So what does this mean? Russia's already said, any one of you that's supplying weapons or doing anything to strike us, you're a target. I repeat, Russia said, any one of you that wants to supply weapons to hit us, you're a target. That means Denmark just made themselves a target. Do you understand? But keep this in mind. The battlefield is opening. If Russia is fair game and all through it, all the way to Moscow, and all of it is fair game at this point, anywhere, even in the United States, anywhere, it's fair game. I'm telling you, on this world stage, how war is playing out. Denmark just put themselves on the chop block. Okay? Macron out of France gives the green light. He says, go for it. Strike inside of Russia with our weapons. Guess what, Macron? They're going to smoke their people. But Macron won't be nowhere. All these corrupt leaders won't be nowhere to be found or get hit when this happens, I'm telling you. They're about to kill all these people. They're about to mini nuke them. World War III is about to unfold whether people like it or not at some point. And Vladimir Putin just flat out told them that you guys, in a veiled threat, he goes, a lot of you live in very small countries with very dense populations, meaning we can just lob a whole bunch of bombs over and just one or two gets in and you're done. You're done. This is what devastated these areas back in the last World War when they were getting carpet bombed and the air raids were going off. You ever watch any of these videos on History Channel or do any research, man? This is, they can get messed up pretty quick. Some of these countries, UK is small. You know what I'm saying? A lot of these countries are small in comparison to the United States and Russia specifically. So they done told them, look, dude, Macron, you get your Eiffel Tower smoked up. That's what Russia's saying. I'm telling you, the warning's out there. So Denmark, France, on the chop block. Who else here? Who do we got now? Us. Biden allows the Ukraine to use U.S. weapons to attack inside of Russia in a highly dangerous escalation. It's on. This is no longer a proxy war, dude. In Ukraine, this is flat out war. When U.S. weapons and troops and all this, and NATO troops and weapons enter full scale head to head with Russia, it's World War III. They've all said it the whole time. Here we are. Here we are. Here we are. Also, last stream, it's an inconvenient. Israel, just, oh, let me turn around. If it's not enough, I'm pounding all these people in the bottom down here in Gaza. Let me just turn around while no one's looking. Let's just rip off a bunch of bombs up into Syria and level a bunch of stuff up there and kill a bunch of innocent people. Do the same thing. Dude, telling you, they're going to level Damascus here at any time out of nowhere. It's some kind of like, I don't know. You better watch it. Backing BB into a corner now that he's got an international criminal court warrant is insane. That means if there's any white hats left out there, dude, you just got greenlit to do some work. What happened to, like, Dog the Bounty Hunter, man? Like, where you at, man? Like, where's any bounty hunters, man, to take this serious? I'm for real. You said they all scared of that Mossad, huh? That's what she's saying. Huh? Is that how it all ends? Fear? Well, Putin expects NATO and possibly Poland, because Poland has been key in every single world war, and it's not surprising he mentions them specifically, and he just does it. This is it. He says Poland in particular is going to escalate the proxy war in Ukraine, meaning they're going to get struck. Russia is going to, I'm telling you, when they strike, it's going to be quick. It's going to be everything that they said. They're going to use tactical nukes. I'm telling you, people, I just told you, Finland, France, the United States, Poland. Let's just stay front line in Europe there. These are the first places to get smoked and licked. And let me remind you, Russia controls a little piece of countryside they call Kaliningrad. It sits right, it's not part of Russia. It's like outside of Russia. It sits right out these little pieces. It's this little piece of land. It sits right in the middle of the Europe countries there, where they've got weapons, they got troops. I'm telling you, it's going to be strategic in this one. Russia just took over the whole eastern flank of Ukraine. They've got Crimea on lockdown. Ukraine threw everything they had at Russia while Putin was in China. And this is where we sit. So now, this is the latest threat. Ukraine is targeting the radars that are part of Russia's nuclear warning system. Dude. This is poking. This is creeping into the cave with the stick. And now you're poking the bear with the stick. What do you think is about to happen? Oh, we're about to find out. This ain't good. They are targeting the radars that are part of the nuclear warning system. Dude, get out of here. Like, they will let nukes fly. I'm telling you. And it's prophesized. It's like meant to be. It's like written. Somewhere it's going to get hit. There is a mushroom cloud on that Chinese rover pic. It's there for a reason, dude. Remember, I told you all these things. You remember? I hope. I don't know. At this point, if we escalate to that, who knows what's going to happen to America? I don't even know. Hope like a Project Blackjack or something stupid don't unfold. Multiple cities getting hit. It's all set up and staged anyway. Just never forget that. This whole thing is a setup. Straight up. Because Rothschild money controls all the banks and all these places. It's controlled Russia since the Bolshevik Revolution. Don't fall back asleep on me. It's controlled China since the days of Mao. Do your research. Henry Kissinger was the handler that trained Xi Jinping, the president of China, one of his best friends. Do your research. You're getting played. Not only two sides of an election, but two sides of every war. That's the way it's always been. Rothschilds controlled the money in the banks to all of them. And we know this, man. And nothing has changed. Until this next big event. This next big event, I feel, ushers in huge change. It has to deal an economic blow to the United States. It has to bring down the power of the dollar, so much so that they have to replace it with aid, as we talked last time, with an emergency aid CBDC. Say you wake up this banking crisis Monday morning and the banks don't have money, and they don't have money, or they're froze, or they're cyber attacked, or anything, and the weeks go by and no one can get their money out. And guess what the government's going to say? We'll give you CBDC to get by. You know how many people are going to take it? You know how many people are about to take it? I warned you. Now the cat's out of the bag. Now you know. This is what's about to happen. I'm not telling you to do anything. You do what you want. You can't come blaming me for starting anything. But I personally wouldn't get caught with nothing in a bank or anywhere from this point on. Nothing in a 401k, and a nothing in any of this. None of it from here on. Nothing, not a penny. None of it. You won't be able to access it, get it out, or touch it from here. You already know. We've already seen it. We already know what's coming. They need the crisis for the Great Reset. We haven't done it yet. Hasn't happened yet. It's about to happen. Timing, man. Do they do it before an election, or do you do it on Trump's watch and blame it all on him? Let it all come crashing down on him. Look, good, let him in. Let him in. We're going to let the whole house come down on him. Huh? Huh? Because he's surely not going to be doing the things that this administration's been doing. He's going to end things, obviously, and switch things up. Try to undo some things, but remember, the Biden administration is putting a law on the books that the next president has got to continue to send money to Ukraine for years to come, whether they want to or not. They can't do anything to undo it. That's garbage. To me, there shouldn't be anything like that they can put into place that you can't undo. They do something treasonous. It should all be undone. Period. No question about it. But the last warning here that I got on this is that the Kremlin is saying that NATO weapons will be hit in any country from where Russia may be attacked. So look at all them idiots that just told the whole world that we're against Russia. Finland will send our planes. France, yeah, go ahead, send everybody. Oh yeah? Oh yeah? Anyone sending anything just to open themselves up to be hit by Russia. And they flat out said it. Meanwhile, U.S. has got nuclear subs going around South Korea, North Korea, because North Korea is launching all these threats. Fresh ones. Don't forget, we have the Shining Star satellites from North Korea going over our country every day. An EMP commission said that they were EMPs, and the Obama administration defunded them and shut them down. They've been there ever since. They are still there. There's 2 of them. And our military knows they're there. The last words they ever said about it is they weren't worried about it. They were tumbling, but they weren't tumbling. They're still there. So it's all a lie. It's all set up. And they know it. And they don't seem to be too concerned. They haven't shot them down. They were quick to dismantle the EMP commission and sweep them under the rug. I pay attention to all that. And I think it's all worth noting. Anything's possible from here. All hands on deck, guys. We've crossed the Rubicon. Want to thank everybody for joining me here tonight. Do appreciate it, man. Shout outs to everybody out there. Yeah, I went all week here with this regiment on YouTube. I'll be back, God willing, Monday, Wednesday on YouTube here for sure. D Live, X Kick. And I don't know if I've got something in particular that I can't play on YouTube. I'll be on Rumble next Friday. If not, I'll be back here. Thank you again, E-Fits. And I ask the Most High in heaven to help all of you out there that call upon Him, that send prayers, that they're answered, and that you're healed. And that we get through these struggles. Where there's a will, there's a way. We can do this, man. It's much love, guys. I love you. I appreciate all the support. Everyone out there that shares the stream, keeps me in their prayers. It's all appreciated more than you know. Thank you, Luis. Take us out of here. Much love, be late. Thank you, David. Free Thinker. Kathy. Lowrider. Juan. J Bear. Bill. Thank all of you. Much love. Much love, Deanne. Indigo. White Bang. Manny. Pure Bloods. Slow Steve. Sonic Cat.
hunting you down and we dumping them rounds.
Open them rounds.
Gon' burn a bitch down,
Go bring it town to wreck the shit down. Move.